All right, and we will begin.
Hello, everybody. This is our presentation for graduate school. We did some researches on a lot of schools. We have a list of schools that we are trying to understand and get some information how we going to benefit from in the future. My name is Wasim Abu Shamma. I'm business management major.
Great. I am Josiah Urim. I am an economics major.
Hello, I'm Zerval Malouf, and I'm a sociology major.
Hi, I'm Callie Gong, and I'm a business analytics major.
All right, our introduction of our topic, we researched on the master degree path. Our group researched various schools and programs under a Master of Science or a Master of Business Analysis, Economic, Human Resources, and more. We hope after this presentation that we will have a solid idea about how we are going to pursue an academic future into a higher education. And we will have better knowledge on what steps needed to be taken to get into a master's program and what it takes to success in our program of choice. School that we have researched 16 different schools in different geographic area, and the schools are listed in the next slide. We have covered mostly programs that are all related in business major, like management, business science, economic and human resources, international business, and management information system. Most of the schools that we research are with the state of California. Others are in Arizona, New York, Pennsylvania, and a few other states. The list of the schools, we searched UC Davis, Sonoma State, Chico State, Palo Alto University, Stanford, USC, Pepperdine, and New York University.
So I'm Josiah. We also researched a variety of mixture of like public schools, private schools from California State Universities, Cals. Some of the recognizable ones are San Jose State, UCLA, NYU, Stanford. So there's a wide variety of programs with different prestige levels, different price levels, different housing options, and we research various different universities to get a broad picture of all of the costs and admissions process and tests required to get into these universities.
The entrance requirements and admissions for each of the schools pretty much required a bachelor's degree or something similar to a bachelor's degree to pursue the master's degree. The GPA requirements typically were a minimum of 3.0 for all your major classes for undergraduate. And the more prestigious schools like Stanford, they wanted a 3.7, but 3.0 was the minimum. Depending on the program, there are a variety of exams that may be required, such as the GRE, the GWAR, the GMAT, which is for business management, and the TOEFL. But some of these requirements have been waived by obtaining a bachelor's degree in the same or similar field, and application fees range from $50 to $200. The application process, most universities allow applicants to apply once per year or once per term. The application window typically falls in either spring or fall, but some schools allowed applications in the summer. A completed application will consist of your university transcripts from all undergraduate and graduate programs attended, professional letters of recommendation highlighting your professional qualities, professional success, career aspirations, and aptitudes. Usually these letters of recommendation will come from an employer or a professor. Next on the list is resumes, test scores, and essays. These essays are your personal statement, your statement of purpose, things like that.
As for the GMAT and GRE, there's typically no minimum score required to apply to a lot of MBA programs. However, our research indicated that a good score is typically around 650 and 690 around there, while a great score is 700 plus. Unlimited attempts are allowed, and most admission offices take the highest score. They usually don't have a preference for which score you report, and sometimes they will take an average, but it depends on the school. Due to COVID, online tests are now offered and encouraged for students. And the way they are reported, our GMAT scores are directly sent to the universities by the test administrator. And at the time of the exam, you're to indicate which schools you would like the results to be sent to.
So demographics. So a majority of these graduate programs have a near equal ratio of males to females. It's really dependent on the field of study. Some programs actually do slightly have more females than males, usually about a 5 to 10 difference, which is typically seen as you go past a bachelor's degree for most colleges and universities. And then racial demographics, that also completely depends on location and also the field of study. States with more highly diverse populations have more diversity within their students. So California university programs, for example, have a higher diversity with a large population percentage being a mixture of Asian, white, African-American, Hispanic students, and more. Persistent rates typically range from 80 to 97% for these schools we researched, meaning that the program students typically complete for their master's and complete it within the given time frame is a very high rate, and there's a very low dropout rate, which means that most of the students that apply have like a strong intent to complete their degree. And usually the vetting process for getting students into the university program make sure that typically the best applicants get in and the ones that are most likely to succeed.
So for our location, most of the universities we researched were based in California, but some other schools were in states such as Arizona, New York, and Pennsylvania. So a lot of the schools were in large cities and urban places, and these schools usually have sunny and warm climates. However, some were in more humid areas with snowy winters. And because a lot of the schools we researched were in California, it was a warm climate with a mild winter season and hot summer for the weather.
And then, so cost and financial aid. So just like the undergrad programs, state schools are typically your cheapest option for tuition. So primarily we looked at California state schools, which typically range anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 a year, which is a little bit more expensive than an undergrad, but not extremely different. And then for UCs, the price range is typically $15K to $30K for 1 year of tuition. And then for private schools, those are the most expensive, and they range anywhere from $30K to some of the highest programs like at USC and Stanford, where you could be looking somewhere closer to 6 figures for your yearly tuition. And then housing costs are relative to the cost of living in schools areas. So like California is very expensive to live in. So a lot of the housing options for California states are expensive. From the schools we all researched in various different states and a lot in California, the lowest annual rate for housing was typically $12,000, all the way upwards of $25K in big urban cities such as like San Jose, San Francisco, and New York. But it all depends on the room size, your building layout or apartment layout, and then like the amenities that are offered. Like if there's like a dining plan, if there's on-campus parking, there's a washer and dryer on campus or in your dorm. And then it also depends on how many roommates you have. That just might be the most critical factor in determining how much you're going to pay for rent and housing. There are also various forms of off-campus housing, which range in relative price to the local real estate market. For example, California, specifically the Bay Area, is one of the most expensive areas in the United States to rent. Therefore, housing off campus could potentially be more expensive than even housing on campus. And then for financial aid, there are various forms of financial aid when doing a master's program, including FAFSA loans. There's grants and scholarships you can either receive directly from your program or from the institution or the university you're attending. There's also federal work study and various external avenues to finance your education through private loans and crowdfunding, various other means other than directly through FAFSA or your university.
Time to complete / requirements. Many programs have a set roadmap, typically consisting of a 18-month to 2-year plan to graduation with some flexibility. Programs typically have limitations as to how long one can take to complete their degree and have set roadmaps to ensure students graduate in a uniform rate. Most programs we researched have various paths to graduation, such as optional thesis, which can be replaced by a graduate exit exam / comprehensive exam.
Thank you very much for watching our presentation. We hope it was useful to anyone looking to pursue a master's degree or who's just interested in learning the requirements and financing of educational attainment. We're now opening the floor to any questions.
All right, cool. And I think that is good.
Nice.